Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm going to be talking to you today about something a lot of highly sensitive people I work with have a hard time articulating. And when we really think about it as having a trauma bond with the system, it starts to make sense. Watch this video. Guys, welcome to my channel. So we're going to dive right in. Before we do that though, I have to mention my Patreon link. If you want to become a Patreon member for $10 a month, you will get worksheets and basically exercises on every video I do, like an assignment to anchor the learning. That's $10 a month. The link is down there. So check it out if you're interested in deepening this learning. Diving in. So I always talk about this. I wrote this book in my second year of grad school, and the book was about, I guess I could say this, it's about unhealed empaths. It's about the system and what's going on. In my experience as a child, teenager, and then adult, going through the world as a very highly sensitive, empathic person who was seeing truths that other people were denying, was seeing a system that was flawed and behind the times without words for it, right? There's a lot of anger in highly sensitive people when we know we see what's going on and people are gaslighting us out of that knowing, right? You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, what this book is about is how we are misdiagnosing a lot of highly sensitive people who are traumatized. And I will be doing my best to get this book published this year because I think it is time. And I think I feel so strongly about my story and now the thousands and thousands of people I've coached over the last decade since I wrote the book. It's been so validating for me to do this work and to see so many people shift and change and heal and grow and thrive and wow, that we're on to something big. And so I want you guys to think about this. When we talk about, I like to coach unhealed empaths and people with toxic relationship dynamics, right? And people with toxicity in their workplace, their corporations. And the reason I do that is because an unhealed empath will recreate that pattern in a relationship. An unhealed empath will abandon parts of themselves to line up with other. An unhealed empath will get an exciting hit when they know there's someone I get to rescue and heal. A narcissist, an alcoholic, someone who needs me that will ultimately actually need everything to be about them in the end. And the reason is because it was never about us. We were born into a system that basically we have Stockholm syndrome with. We have a system that disempowers our gifts because they're not understood and there's no place for spiritual gifted children or emotionally intelligent children in school. A lot of times, those of us who are, let's say, go under this umbrella also learn differently because we're highly creative and we are very much lined up with a very specific purpose. And most oftentimes, if you're a healer, an empath, a coach, whatever it is, an entrepreneur, you're not going to be lined up with the systematic approach because it's kind of out of date, but it's also very left-brained. And many of us are very right-brained. However, if you're emotionally intelligent, you kind of got to be both. And so you just really are specific about doing things your own way. And that was me. I was very specific about doing things my way. When I got to do them my way, it was the highway. Everything worked out. When I was pushed into a box and medicated for 10 years of my childhood to stop doing it my way and listen to their way, didn't go so well for me. And so that's so many of the children right now. So many of these children and teens and adults now that I coach who have emotional wounds because they're still afraid to own their empathic truth, their spiritual gifts, their intuition, because the society did not validate you. And so this is what I mean by Stockholm syndrome and trauma bonding. You're still looking to the people in the society and the system who took from you to revalidate you. That's never going to happen. No one in society is going to validate your intuition, your gifts. They are the ones that took it from you in the first place. Take that in. So our our romantic, intimate relationships are now going to have to mirror that original wound that may not have just been by a parent. It could have been by a society at large. When we have a narcissistic parent, the reason they're narcissistic is because they let go of their own true self to line up with an idealized version that is aligned with society, standards, measures, enoughness. So if you want to be your authentic self, you're very challenging to that parent or teacher or whoever the authority figure is, because you are challenging in them the part of them that they have denied and rejected long ago. And when they see you owning it, it is a trigger. Right? So when you think about the anger and the illnesses that come about in your body because you see something going on that no one is validating, it's infuriating. But I'm going to tell you, as someone that went through that for a lot of years, I tried to join them, right? Can't beat them, join the system, fit in, whatever. Fuck that. It's not fun. It's not who you are. It's never going to work. It's never going to feel good. It's going to feel good for a little bit because you're doing it right and you're fitting in and you're pleasing people and you're earning love. But you're actually abandoning self. And so for me, I think I was 30 years old. I was going through my Saturn returns. I was finally like, I think I'm done with all of this. I just want me back. Because I really knew that I had this ability to know stuff. And I really knew that the stuff I knew, when I would follow it, really made sense and really worked out for me and anyone I was talking to. So I was like, I really want to just line up with myself and get rid of all these coping mechanisms of perfectionism and all that shit that I use to trade in my authentic self, to know that I'm enough. That's all gone. I just want to be enough being me because I love me. And when I started to really look at my real emotional experiences, well, I was angry at that because it all made so much sense. And that's why I tell all my clients, just get real about how you feel so you can heal. So you can see that you're very valid in everything that you did and felt, how you reacted, how you behaved, how you perceived. You were not wrong. You were just wrong according to society's norms, your parental rules, whatever it was, but you were not wrong according to your authentic self. So I offer this course, Emotional Rehab. Many of you have taken it. It's now on demand. You can take it at any time. We are enrolling all the time at a fraction of the price. I think it's half the price of the original. So because I'm not going to be there live, it's just all chalked into this online forum for you, but it is 12 weeks. And it is what you need to rehabilitate your emotional truth from start to finish, from inner child to inner teen to inner adult to you. Integrating all parts of yourself so you can start to take back your authority, become the author of your own life, the authority of your own life, the authentic self. Author, authority, authentic self. They all rhyme. Why? Because it's all about you being in your power, you being in your autonomy. And if you can be in your autonomy and see that, oh my God, maybe the system has it wrong because I'm lining up with something higher called universe, source, then I'm one with me. Then anywhere I go or anything that happens to me, I'm still me because I am me according to me. So often one of our biggest issues is I feel guilt if I do me instead of them, or I feel selfish if I focus on myself. You have to focus on yourself because you were trained to feel guilty if you're focusing on another. You were trained that if you don't need someone or if you don't fit in, you'll be alone. And the reason you were trained that way is so that you don't come into autonomy. But it's actually a lie. Coming from someone who is definitely autonomous, I will say I am never alone or lonely. Because when you're being your authentic self, it's like a magnet. People want that. They're like, what is that? Integrity has impact, right? You're not going to be alone. That's just the lie. The lie is that you'll be alone if you choose you and if you're true to yourself. You don't need to fit into these toxic systems that no longer make sense to you because you're waking up. And by the way, freedom isn't scary once you're autonomous. Freedom is scary because you think, oh no, then what will I do and who will I need? I'm so used to lining up with someone else's blah, blah, blah. If I'm free, how do I know to line up with myself? But when you're autonomous, there is no other way to be other than, oh, I'm self-directed, I'm self-guided. Trust me on that. So I'm really passionate about this. I really want to get this book out there soon. If you guys know any publishers that I should go to, let me know. I'm not kidding. I'm about to do this. I was going to self-publish, and then I'm like, I don't know. Let me see. But I want to get this out there. I also want you guys to understand that there is a way out of these cycles of feeling like I'm going to the person that abused me for validation of me, for comfort, right? It's like a toxic relationship. I'm with this person who's love bombing me, who I think is the love of my life because they have the same wound. By the way, newsflash, we can't attract anyone that isn't a mirror to the parts of ourselves that we're denying in ourselves, right? So that person that you love that's mirroring you becomes toxic. Why? Because you both are also mirroring wounds. So if somebody is avoiding you, it's the inner child in you that you're avoiding. I'll go deeper into this in another video, but nobody else is more important than you to line up with. If you're lining up with them, you're also lining up with the parts of you that you haven't yet healed. So it's very important to line up with you first. Heal you first. Get free. Get securely attached to self. And then you can actually attract a securely attached relationship. If you're still anxiously attached and having anxiety when they don't call you, you've got some work to do. You don't have to do it alone, but you have to do it with securely attached people. If you're avoiding things so you can feel more of yourself because you have enmeshment issues or intimacy issues, you got some work to do. We all have work to do until we don't. So let's not judge it. Let's dive in. I hope you guys check out Emotional Rehab On Demand and all the other offerings at this time. Everything is basically on sale because I just want people to do it. So check it out. Please share this with anyone you think it could help. And I'll see you next week.